A lot of companies, when they're doing investment, have the hard part of the growth phase, learning how to adapt, learn how to get the market share. That's really where it gets hard for the investment because you're at the point of, I could pull back because they're starting to hit hard times or push forward. What kind of signals, what kind of things do you look at to know to push forward versus pull back?
I think, look, anyone who's dealing in any kind of private credit, whether you want to think of it as specialty lending, direct lending, private credit, whatever you want to call it, if it's all kind of in the same general bucket, I find myself excited and terrified at the same time. I think that we used the word democratization earlier, and I do believe that's what we're doing. I think we're at a democratization moment of private credit as it relates to the masses and to people who didn't 10 years ago, private credit, what is that? So we're at this moment, right? And I think we're all I think interested, hoping for the best, and I think that the cow is out of the barn. I mean, banks no longer control the lending space by themselves. There's now viable, legitimate firms that are big and strong and smart who are in the space. So I think that's the excited part, right? Like I think that there's going to be more and more opportunities for private credit that were not there before, and I think it's really great for our economy. I think at the end of the day, if you look at any thriving economy, access to capital is one of the single largest ingredients that must be there, particularly for nascent firms, right? So I think that's the excited part. The nervous part is anytime you see something explode the way it's exploded and the tremendous amount of money chasing what is maybe some limited amount of assets, it provides for dislocation opportunities. So what you hope is that something that's really great, this opportunity that I'm excited about, doesn't end badly because it got utilized or overly stressed and pressed up. And so I think that we look at that. So what signals do we look at? Probably a lot of the same signals that you do, economic, but I also I think we're trying to really look further, not just into what's the performance characteristics of the managers that we're investing into, but what's their process? How do they know when to tap out? How do they know when to reduce exposure? Because the great thing about what we're doing is we're a manager of managers in this case, so we really have to evaluate how the other manager handles risk, evaluates risk. And so for us, it's more making sure they have the systems and controls and frankly, the judgment to step back. Because the right answer in some of these segments, one of ours, I won't say who it is, I came up to Mark the other day. And again, I'm not the portfolio manager. People usually don't pay attention to anything I say, but I went up and said, I have a little bit of a concern about one segment we're in. And I said, I want you to think about this. And we don't need to get into what that is, but so sometimes it's something specific in the data. Sometimes it's this feeling I'm getting relating to just something being overcooked. And so I think it's a combination of art and science.